deliver on this holistic experience of, from a bigger bank, but we know all of our business members. We call them members here. You're not a customer, but we know all of you by name, and that I think is far more important in getting things done and how you can effectively run your business, your organization. I think that that is far more important than just being another number for some large bank or some large conglomerate. So, a bit about us. Started in 1946. Historically, we were a teachers-oriented credit union. We still had the same abbreviation, the BSCU, but instead it was Broward Schools Credit Union, Broward Teachers. It was very oriented towards the teachers. We started very, very modestly. A group of teachers decided to pool their funds together. And that's really how Brightstar was born. And today we've evolved into this larger organization that has over 60,000 members throughout the Florida marketplace and even through other states in the United States. We've been around for about 70 years now. And fast forward to the early to mid 2000s, we decided that we wanted to open our member base to the rest of Broward County and to the rest of our marketplace to offer the same products and services that we were offering the Broward employees. And we started that by offering them consumer products and services. So you think, auto loans, consumer loans, personal loans, home mortgages, et cetera. And then eventually we understood and we realized that in order for us to be to set ourselves apart a bit, we had to also think about what other products and services we can offer. A lot of our personal or consumer members are also business members, so we have to think about how we continue to deliver on a holistic experience. And that's really when we decided that we wanted to start building out our business department, our commercial banking department, and offer those same products and services that you might be getting elsewhere within the Brightstar footprint. And lastly, we are a not-for-profit organization, which means that our main goal is to anything that we monetize is really passed through to our members in the benefit of savings on interest rates as well as our products and services. Okay, so just to kind of speak a little bit about the products and services that we do currently offer. Pretty straightforward, right? We offer our business members business lines of credit. So if in the event you're looking to have that flexibility of a line of credit, or you need it to cover any cash flow gaps as you're managing your business, having a line of credit is extremely important. We also offer term loans. So term loans might be for any type of a fixed expense that you might be anticipating, where you have a fixed monthly payment, fixed interest rate, or there isn't any variation on that from a month over month basis. So from a budgetary standpoint, it might be beneficial to consider that as an option. We also offer commercial real estate mortgages. So as you're building out your business, and if you're looking to expand and have potentially a warehouse, let's say, or you're thinking of getting an office condo to really build out your operations, this is one of the areas that really sets us apart, and it's really one of our core competencies is our focus on commercial real estate. So it's certainly something that we can assist you with as your business continues to grow. In addition to that, we also offer the ability to finance equipment. So if in the event you're looking for equipment to further expand your business, it's certainly something that we could look to. Products and services that we offer a money market account, pretty standard, right? Checking, savings, and things like that. And then we also have, what's really cool is that we also have the ability to partner with an entity known as NewTek, where we have the ability to offer our business members the ability to accept payments remotely. We have to think about what is happening now in terms of COVID-19 and the acceleration to this digital economy, right? So having a partnership with an organization like NewTek, where we're able to offer our members merchant services and the ability to accept credit cards from home or from wherever you're operating your business, as well as managing your payroll effectively, further encompasses that holistic experience that I mentioned earlier. And we actually have a couple of representatives on the call. So Brian, Efren, why don't you just briefly introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about some of the products and services that you're able to assist our members with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Efren Tapanis. I am the consultant that works with all the business members and all the branches. And yes, NewTek, we're a pretty big company. We partner up with a lot of banks, a lot of credit unions. We've been around for over 22 years. And we're proud partners. We're very proud to be business partners with Brightstar Credit Union, and we're happy to be able to help also all the business members. We are pretty much a business solution company. We specialize in many areas, one of them being merchant services, which is what we're known for a lot with the banks and the credit unions. With our merchant services, we have amazing rates. We pretty much we're pretty competitive compared to other merchant companies. Um, we could save a tons of monies in regards to merchant services. But amongst that, we also offer other services. We also do SBA lending. We do websites. We're huge on websites. Right now, it's actually perfect time thanks to COVID. We have a lot of good stuff going on with our web deals, web promotions, and we also do payroll services, IT work, insurance. So lots of things that NewTech could really help all of our Brightstar business members with.
Awesome. Thank you, Efren. I really appreciate that. And it really just, as Efren might have mentioned, a lot of the services that they offer, we offer them at discounted rates. And I would encourage anyone that's on this call that's currently utilizing these services from another bank or organization to check us out and at least consider getting a price quote. Doesn't cost anything to check and try to save money. I think that managing your expenses effectively is a big part of the battle as well. So I would encourage anyone who's on this call to reach out to us, and we can certainly get you in touch with Efren and his team so that we can try to get that for you. Okay.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Okay, great. So COVID-19, right? 2020 has been one of those years. It's been very, very interesting. It's a year that some of us might say, well, I wish that we could just fast forward and get to 2021 and just kind of forget about 2020. But on the flip side to that, I think that this particular environment just caused a consumer shift, an accelerated consumer shift to more of a digital and contactless economy, right? So it's been very eventful. We've had the elections in 2020. The unemployment reached, not really all-time highs, but it reached some highs, and now it's starting to normalize again. But at the same time, there was also a lot of layoffs, especially in the South Florida market that's heavily geared towards tourism and hospitality, right? So as you start thinking about what's next for me, what can I use, what skill sets did I acquire along the way while I was working for someone that I can kind of take and morph into a business, what skills will set me apart? So understanding what the consumers are looking for and what your skills are and how you can put them to use and potentially monetize them is so important. One of the other things that you really need to think of is the ability for your business to go digital. Are you able to offer the products and services that you might be offering? Are you able to offer them digitally? So for instance, are you able to run a consulting business remotely without ever meeting with your clients? I understand that a plumber or a mechanic might not be able to do that, but there's a lot of other businesses that have the ability to stay digital and remain contactless while still being extremely successful. So it's really about understanding what consumers' needs are and continuing to evolve with the times. It reminds me of this Marine mantra that I kept hearing growing up about improvising, adapting, and overcoming any challenges, right? So 2020 is definitely one of those years where it puts it to the test. You start thinking about your entrepreneurial hat and your ability to pivot and continue to adapt. And that's really one of the continuous challenges that you will face as an entrepreneur is, understanding those. And will you have the ability to weather the storm if in the event there is another shutdown? We're seeing cases rise again. And what do you have in place to kind of help offset or alleviate any of those constraints that might be coming in the future, especially if in the event there isn't another government stimulus? I think a lot of businesses were assisted through a paycheck protection program and other programs that the federal government was offering, but also having a bit of a buffer and understanding how you can effectively manage your cash flow is extremely important. And that really goes to having a good business plan, which I'll get into a little later in the presentation, and a good digital marketing strategy. Marketing is extremely critical. How are you going to bring awareness to your brand when you're basically working from home? So you really have to leverage social media, and you have to think about how you're connecting with your clients or your customers on a go forward basis, where you don't have the ability to even get out there and pound the pavement and shake hands and really meet people. You have to really just continuously be selling yourself as a person, your brand. You are your brand. So you have to continuously be thinking about those things as you're trying to build out your business. And in addition, you have to think about the most important thing, I think, is the mindset. You have to be flexible. You have to be positive. You have to really just have that mindset that you will weather the storm and you will be successful. And I think that that's the most important thing out of all of this, is just having that positivity. So lots to think about there. And a few of these topics I'll also be going into shortly. But these are some of the things that we continue to discuss, and having that adaptability is extremely important. Okay, so I touched on it previously during the last slide, but having a business plan. If you're just getting started, a business plan to me is a guiding light, right? It's where you is essentially memorialize everything that you're thinking about. What are you thinking about doing with your business, and how will it get started? And I'll tell you from a lending perspective, right? So I don't know if I properly introduced myself in the beginning, but I actually oversee the business department at Brightstar. So if a loan request comes into Brightstar, it would essentially be passing my desk for approval. So I'll tell you, when I see a business plan, when I see a startup business that has a business plan, I'm so impressed, because it shows me that they're taking their business serious and that they have a thorough understanding of what they're looking to accomplish, and it's well documented within a plan, whether it's a PowerPoint deck, a Word outline, however you decide to do it. But having that business plan, you have to be willing to accept the fluidity of it, right? Because strategies change. There's always going to be a continuous shift in strategy, especially during times of uncertainty such as these. So that's really important to really have that guiding light, and be willing to be flexible at the same time, but also just going back to that and referencing it as you start thinking about what you're looking to do. And thinking about a business plan, you have to start. It starts by figuring out a way to monetize what you're looking to do. What's your product or service that you're looking to do, and how do you intend to monetize it? At the end of the day, that's really the name of the game when it comes to a business, right? How can the business sustain itself to make money and be successful? So it starts with going back to what I said previously: marketing, word of mouth. How are you going to get in front of your clients to continue delivering on those products or services? In addition to that, another big component of all this is, how are you going to get funded? What's that going to look like? Are you going to get a loan from family members, or are you going to borrow money from your credit card to really get the business up and running? Or are you going to look to an angel investor? Are you going to have that mysterious uncle who you inherited thousands of dollars from, who might be helping you get started? So obviously having an understanding of where your financing sources are coming from in the very beginning is extremely important. And that's one of the areas where I think Brightstar has the ability to assist and really that's where we set ourselves apart, right? I didn't really touch on it previously when we talked about products and services, but what's really cool about Brightstar is that if you're looking to start your business, and let's say, for instance, you still have a day job, right? I'll give you a perfect example of someone that we financed recently. I'll just name him John. So John worked at UPS, and he still works at UPS, and he's worked there during the day for, he's got a day shift for the past 15 years. John recently decided that he wanted to put his culinary skills to good use, and John decided that he wanted to buy a food truck. Now, that's a startup business, right? And a lot of lenders are usually scared of financing these startup businesses. But what's really cool about us is that if you have your day job and you're looking to transition into being a business owner and really go into this feet first, as long as you have your day job, we're going to look at it from a standpoint that you're still going to have your steady flow of income, and we're not going to really be too concerned with the financials of the business. We're going to focus more on the individual and where that income, where that repayment source is coming from. Whereas a bigger lender, I spent a big chunk of my career at Citibank, for instance. They might be very scared of financing something like that just because it's a startup business. The business isn't really making any money, but my argument to that is, well, yeah, I mean, the individual who's starting the business is making money, so why can't we look at that and understand where the financing sources are coming from, or where the income or the repayment sources are coming from, I should say. So that's really one of the biggest things that sets us apart, is that before we say no to anything, we try to think as much outside the box as possible before rejecting a request. We try to get as creative as we can. with the end goal of assisting you in growing your business. We'll try to do what we can to get it done. And if in the event we're unable to get it done, then what we'll do is we'll come up with a strategy, or we'll help you come up with a game plan on how to get you to be to the level where you would potentially qualify for financing and make you a bankable or a lendable client or member. That to me is extremely important. Just really having that relationship, that one-on-one relationship with whether it be your relationship manager, your business lending department here at Brightstar, or whoever you're really going to, whether it's us or another organization. But you need to have these contacts. Your accountant, your lawyer, your banker. These are all people that you really need to have in your corner that are going to help you remain successful in the future. So in terms of getting started with your business, right? So now we're at the stage where we have John, right? We'll go back to John. John says, okay, good. I'm ready to start my business. How am I going to get that up and running? What am I doing, right? So in the state of Florida, it's actually very easy to get started with a business. You just register yourself on Sunbiz, and you reach out to an accountant, or you could actually set it up yourself on LegalZoom. You prepare a business, whether it's an S corporation, a C corporation, a limited liability company. We're not tax planners, so I really won't dive into the topic of which one you should go with depending on your business type. But I will say that having a business entity versus going the sole proprietor route is always nice, because you have that veil of protection between yourself and whoever you might be doing business with. In terms of, from a liability perspective, you also have the ability to get a little more creative with accounting. But I won't really dive into that, because again, we're not tax planners. We're just here to help and make your business be a little more successful than it currently is through banking and other solutions, whether it be merchant banking or lending. Okay. I think another important topic on this slide that I really didn't that I didn't really get into is special licenses or certifications or insurances. A lot of the time we're very gung ho about starting a business, but then we forget about the nuances of, well, what does it take? Do I have to be certified? Do I need any certifications? Do I have to pass food inspections? I came from New York, where everything has a rating system, right? So in New York City, if you want to start a restaurant, you have your food inspectors that come out, and they have to rate your business and make sure that it's clean, that it passes the codes. And understanding all those things is extremely important. So research is everything. Researching, getting started. Miami-Dade has very different rules than Broward in terms of some of these things. So I would encourage you to do your due diligence before you go into this. Okay, cool. So now we've started a business. We've decided that we're going to go with an S corporation, and we need money. We need cash. What are we going to do? If we don't have that rich uncle who's going to finance us, if we don't have that much in savings, we have to go to the bank, and we have to try to borrow some money. And that is the fancy way of calling that is leverage, right? So leverage is potentially taking this much money, taking $1, turning it into 100. If you borrow $1 and you turn that into 100, that's my definition of leverage, right? Understanding that it's a very simple concept that a lot of people just get kind of like analysis paralysis from. But it's a very simple concept, and it's something that will always be extremely important from an entrepreneurial perspective, is extremely important and to understand that, because that's really what's going to drive the success of your business. Understanding that debt can actually be good. Some people are very afraid of taking on debt, but at the same time, debt can be a very good thing for your business as long as you manage it effectively. If I give you $1,000 and you can turn that $1,000 into $50,000, then why wouldn't debt be a good thing? If that's really what you needed to get you over that hump or to get you across the bridge, why wouldn't you come to us and say, hey, David, look, I need $1,000. What can you do to help me? This is my plan. This is what I intend to do with that money, and this is how I'm going to grow. So we can't be afraid of utilizing debt to grow our business. And obviously, you have to be willing to account for any potential shortfalls in your business as well. So in addition to debt, as you continue growing your business, think about having some reserves in place. Think about how you're going to continue financing your operations. A lot of businesses are seasonal. Some businesses might be busier than others. We might have an on season or an off season. A good example of this is I'll go back to New York just because that's where I'm from, although I live in South Florida now. But someone who has a plowing business in the winter isn't going to be able to shovel snow or plow snow in the summer, right? So you have to account for those the seasonality of your business, or understanding that is extremely important. Or another good example is a hotel operator during COVID, where hotels were completely shut down, they had large vacancies, but if they didn't have those reserves in place, a lot of them were not successful in managing their finances for that reason. So, understanding that and accounting for it, and being able to weather the storm, it's not about being a pessimist, but you also have to be prepared for these things in the near future as they present themselves. And that really just goes to the market conditions or externalities that might be challenging you. Understanding who your competitors are. What are some weaknesses or deficiencies in your operations that might be able to be improved upon in order to keep you successful? So having all of those things in mind is extremely important. I know a lot of these concepts I might have repeated in the past, but it's really about the reinforcement of them. So I would encourage you to start thinking about those things as you develop your business plan. Okay, so that goes to what's called a SWOT analysis, and some of you who might have taken a basic business course in college might know about this, or even in high school. A SWOT analysis, it's the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis, right? So what are my core competencies? What makes me strong as a person, right? Like me, for instance, I know that I'm really good with numbers. I might not be the handiest person, but I'm really good with numbers. So I know that if I ever wanted to start a side business as a bookkeeper, maybe that might be that's one of my strengths, right? You have to stick to your strengths, and you have to understand what they are and hone in on them and make them stronger. As a business owner, that's extremely important. So let's say, for instance, that I am a bookkeeper, right? So what would be a potential weakness in that? Do I have the proper software in place to make me successful? Do I have the clients in place? Am I marketing myself enough? Those are all weaknesses that you have to hone in on and understand before you get yourself out there and start building. And it's never too late. You could always go back and reassess and understand what your weaknesses are, and then improve upon them and continue to grow. You can't get discouraged because, for instance, if I have a business as a bookkeeper and I only have 2 customers, and I'm telling myself, wow, like I wish I had more customers. What am I doing wrong? You start thinking about that. That's a weakness that can be improved upon, and it becomes a strength at the end of the day. So I always take weaknesses as learning experiences. Same goes for failures. I never take a failure for what it is. A failure is a learning experience. So that is extremely important. And then that can transition into being an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for improvement. But always having those threats in the back of your head, saying, hey, look, I have other customers, they're pricing me out of the market. Who are my competitors? What's going on there? Why am I being priced out of the market? What's setting me apart, or what's setting them apart that's making my business fall short? So having a niche, or having something that sets you apart, is also extremely important. Oh, okay. So this is our contact information. So here's my contact information. I'm David Mateo, and this is my support specialist Megan's contact information here as well. If any of you who are on this call would like to reach out to us at any time, we're more than happy to assist you in any way. My cell number's there as well, which means that I'm 24/7. I'm more than happy to assist you, whether it's now at midnight, if I'm up, or on the weekends. I'm always there to help. That to me is more important than anything else. And that's one of the reasons that I was really excited about coming to work at a credit union, is because you're more than a number. We don't really have the huge goals like these big banks where you're forced to sell, sell, sell. For us, it's really about doing right by our members and doing right by the community that we serve. And that really goes back to our roots as being a not-for-profit organization. So again, I would encourage anyone who's on this call who has any questions. We'll open it up for questions or discussion now, but I would encourage anyone who's on this call to reach out to us. If you have any questions, you have my contact information there. You can call me directly. If for whatever reason I don't answer, just leave me a message, and I promise you I'll get back to you by the end of that day. And yeah, we'll be happy to assist you in any way that we can. But at this point in time, I'd like to leave it open for any questions if you have any. Feel free to chime in. We'll make this open dialogue. Feel free. No? Okay. Okay, cool. Well, with that, I thank you all for your time. I truly appreciate it. And if there's anything that we can do to assist you in growing your business, if there's anything that New Tech can do in helping your business go further digital, whether it's through their payment methods, their payroll management, or even in helping you get a website set up, New Tech is here to assist as well. So New Tech has been a great partner of ours, and they're here to help us deepen our relationships with our members in a holistic way. So thank you all again for attending this, and yeah, we'll be in contact soon. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.